Hi, welcome to this week's Corporate Roundup. Coal blocks is again in the focus, and I'm joined by Ruchira Singh to take the real issue behind coal blocks deallocation or review. Could you take us what is the coal ministry up to?
So this week there was an announcement from the Ministry of Coal which said that next week on the 25th they're going to hold a meeting of the interministerial group wherein 10 blocks are going to be reviewed. Now some of the very prominent blocks are there in this list of 10. There is Mahan coal block that belongs to SR Power and Hindalco. There is the Ganeshpur block that belongs to Tata Steel. There is Jitpur that belongs to Jindal Steel and Power. There is also another block from that belongs to JSW Steel. Now, obviously, these companies are extremely concerned because chances are that some of these blocks might be deallocated if the minister so chooses or if the government so desires. So there are concerns because these companies have, a lot of them have already invested in plants. So that's the scenario. However, people who watch this industry, analysts are saying that they cannot rule out any legal intervention. So it might turn out to be a long-drawn battle between companies and the government.
Thank you. Which means general elections are around the corner, and how government is going to tackle this is going to be very critical. Thanks, Ruchira. And this week also seen that Wilmar International of Singapore-based agri-business group investing in India's Shree Renuka sugars. Could you take us forward? What was the deal all about?
Yeah, Singapore-based Wilmar International has agreed to buy a controlling stake in Shree Renuka Sugars Limited. The deal is a complex one, wherein in the first phase of the deal, Wilmar International will buy 27.5% stake in Shree Renuka Sugars, and in the second phase of the deal, there would be an open offer of up to 26% stake in Shree Renuka Sugars. The total cash infusion in the deal is going to be $200 million, but all in all, it's a very complex deal, and the exact holding stake of Wilmar International in Shree Renuka Sugars will be known only after completion of this open offer.
Thank you so much. I think it seems to be very complex and multi-tied deal. And we spoke to the management of Shree Renuka. Shree Renuka Sugars management is telling us that at any point of time the stake would be equal with, between Wilmar and Shree Renuka Sugars. So there are a lot of ifs and buts. It will clarify only after the rights issue and open offer, which is jointly done by these two promoters. And this week also witnessed another major acquisition, wherein Bharti buying in Loop to get an edge over Mumbai. To discuss more about, I'm joined by Zahra. Zahra, welcome to the show. Could you take us a little bit more about Bharti-Loop deal?
Hi Sanjai, thank you for having me. So this week, Bharti officially announced that it would be acquiring Loop and for an undisclosed amount. But if you go by media stories, the transaction would be worth around 600 crores. And if you look at the agreement, Loop's 3 million subscriber base will join Bharti's over 4 million subscriber base in Bombay, making it the leader in Bombay, a position long enjoyed by Vodafone. And what's important note is that the recently concluded auction, Loop did not participate in that, while Bharti bought 2,000 crore worth of spectrum for its Bombay circle. So that's another important point to note. And going forward, analysts say that it's a big positive for Bharti Airtel. Now it has Bombay and Delhi, where it's a leader, and these are the two largest revenue-generating markets for telecom operators. So we'll have to see how Bharti works this. Thank you.
Thank you. So it's clearly Airtel is making a strict and very profitable phone calls to Loop to get a clear loop in Mumbai circle. And this week Mumbai city has hosted one of the big bosses of KKR, where he's telling that he's more interested in buying distressed assets like Wilbur-Ross, what he had done to SpiceJet. So to discuss more about KKR's plans, I'm joined by Malvika Joshi. Malvika, can you tell us what is KKR's boss telling us?
Yes, so Sanjay, KKR had some really positive news for firms that are under a lot of stress because of high debt, especially infrastructure firms like Mr. Henry Kravis, who's one of the co-founders of KKR, was in Bombay, and he said that it is really looking forward to invest in India, especially in infrastructure firms and stressed assets. This is clearly signaling that private equity guys will play a very crucial role in funding firms that are under a lot of stress. There's a clear dislocation. If we see, there are just 3 active infrastructure funds: is SBI, Macquarie, ILNFS, and IDFC. Apart from that, banks are also not very forthcoming as far as these stuck projects are concerned. So I think it is really positive news. And but what we'll have to really see is that how are they really funding? Those days are gone where you'll have 20% plus IRR, and we are looking at probably early teens or mid-teens the return. So it is likely to be a more of structured deals that we'll see in this space. Yeah.
Thank you, Malvika.
Yeah.
There we are. For more updates, please log on to www.liveman.com.